Got up this morning, I crawled out of my bed. My back was really aching, my eyes were cherry red. It's just the morning after, I don't remember who was here. I'll eat a slice of that cold pizza and wash it down with warm beer. I got that not so fresh feeling from my head down to my toes. I think I had a good time, heaven only knows. It's just the morning after. Lord, it's funky up in here. Help me now, yeah. I'll eat a slice of cold pizza and wash it down with warm beer.
Yeah, you got it now. Hey, welcome everybody. It's the morning after with JP and Big Joe. I'm JP. Hello, Big Joe. How you doing?
Oh, it's too real.
Oh, we're back doing catchphrases. It's Joe's catchphrase. It's too real. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, last week we were talking all about catchphrases, and I noticed that Joe's been saying it's too real a lot lately. And I like that. I like that. It's too real. Welcome, everybody. It is too real. It's what is today? It's January 15th. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I'm going to say that 8 more times. Thank you for joining us. It is the morning time. I really appreciate that you guys wake up and you make it here for us. It's now I don't know what to say to you now that you're here.
It's funky up in here.
It's funky. Thanks for being here. Do subscribe, do follow, do all that stuff that YouTubers and Twitch affiliates ask you to do. And I'll try not to say it again. We're live, pal. That's right. We got Baby Huey's in the house. What's up, Baby Huey? We're live, pal. That is the catchphrase that we have stolen from Jim Ross. I need to get that clip isolated so I can have it ready to go at all times. Just that beautiful "We're live, pal."
Just a click of a button. We're live, pal.
Now you remember that, right? Where
yeah,
Sid,
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
I love that
Psycho
clip.
Sid. He thinks he can ask for a redo, and then Jim Ross goes, "No, we're live, pal."
He was cutting a promo and he messed it up.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I messed it up. Can we redo that?" We're live, pal. I was like, "Okay, then."
He fucking whipped back into Psycho Sid character like that. Oh, one of the greatest moments in wrestling history. Yes, thank you everybody for joining us this morning. Last week we had Matt Sting on the broadcast. That was great fun. Dude is just full of stories, great fun. His podcast is called The Barcast. For those of you who didn't check it out last week, do check it out.
He has a fun podcast. I recommend checking it out.
Yeah, and you've known Matt for a while. How was it having Matt on the show last week? Whoa.
Was that what day is it? This is getting too real. I had a lot of fun because Matt also, I've known Matt for a very long time.
Yeah.
We started working together at Pizza Pirate. And I was friends with his older brother too, Tim Hurley, which pretty much he kind of looked like Johnny Knoxville. So I don't know, he did a bunch of wild, crazy stuff and drove fast cars, and it was always fun hanging out with the Hurleys, especially if you're from Benicia. Everyone's going to agree that the Hurleys are always a great time.
Yeah, dude's cool. Matt, that is. He's got a cool vibe around him. Maybe it's the beard. Maybe it's the facial. You guys that are able to grow strong beards have a certain aura of coolness, especially when you put it in your mouth.
It's the only reason why I have it that long.
Oh, really? So you can eat your scraps?
So I can just shove it in my mouth.
Yeah. Well, do you get a lot of food caught in there?
Dude, worse than a pregnant woman. I actually have to tuck my beard into my shirt because I'll look down and I'm like, damn, there's some fucking Lucky Charms up in here from yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
You know, it's crazy because when you've got the tail, do you call it a tail? when you've got the tail tucked into your shirt, it really looks like you don't have a long beard.
Right. Well, when I go to work too, working in the restaurant business, I do
Yeah.
have to tie it up. I tie it up a few more times. I feel like I'm adjusting my bra. I put it in there. I go, "What's up, dude?"
Do people say, "Hey, that's a great beard," and then you go, "Well, hold on, this is only one quarter
like-
of the entire beard."
I was like, you know what? I'm a grower, not a shower. And then I get them to rub it a little bit. I'm like, oh, bam, son!
Ooh.
It's too real.
It's too real. It's too real. Let's talk about it. I had a one of my great classic Castor Valley characters. This guy Nate. He was an older dude, and we all looked up to him because he was older than us, and he skateboarded, and he was just a cool dude. But his catchphrase was "Let's talk about it." It was really cool. Like,
I like that.
He'd be like, "Oh, dude, did you hear Danny Way got sent to jail? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, bro." And like that became a thing. So I'm trying to adopt "Let's talk about it" more because I need a catchphrase. Let's be honest. I don't have anything going.
I always
you
end
got
up changing it.
Yeah, but that's good. You keep it fresh. I noticed that last week. I was like, I noticed that lately you've been saying it's too real.
One I always say at work, and it's kind of a defense mechanism, but we're constantly taking phone calls, and every time I hang up the phone, it depends on if it's a guy or a girl. If it's a guy, I always hang up the phone and go, "Oh my God, what a nice guy." And everyone will kind of look at me like, "Really? Was he really nice?" I go, "Dude, that was the nicest guy I talked to today. If there was a nicest guy of the day award, that guy definitely would have won it." And that's exactly what in the scripted. And then when it's a girl, like, "Oh, what a sweet lady." Like, "Oh my God." And they're like, "What? What a sweet lady." And they
That was the sweetest lady I have talked to today.
Yeah. If they ask, like, "Really? Was she really that sweet?" And I was like, and then the whole award thing. And then it takes them about 2 days to realize. So now, like, I hang up the phone, and if I don't say anything, they're looking like, "Joe, was it a nice guy or a sweet lady?" I go, "No, fucking dick." Just to throw them off. But, like, I don't know. It's something I always did at Pizza Pirate, too. I do it at this other place. The new job I'm getting, I'm probably not going to have an opportunity.
There's not much phone action.
I don't think there's going to be much of any action. I think I really have to. I'm really excited to what I get to do in this new job opportunity.
Can you talk about it yet?
You know what? I'll talk about it kind of vaguely. Yeah. I just don't. I signed everything. Yeah. And I just don't know what they said I can and can't talk about.
Well,
I just pretended like I already read it.
Yeah. Well, last week we touched briefly on it. We did mention that it would be a job around inmates.
Yeah.
Jail inmates. So that's something.
So it's managing the kitchen in the county jail up here. Yeah. And it's a third-party company, so it's not like I'm working for the sheriff's department or the county or the state, which I was kind of excited for. I was actually hoping that it was, because then I could start off somewhere. And sometimes to work for the state or the county or whatever, you need that in. You need to already have been an employee. So that's what my main initial interest was. Like, let me work for the state. That might be kind of cool. But it didn't really work out that way. But this company, which I'm not going to name them because we're that big, it looks like there's a lot of room to grow and there's a lot of room to transfer. So if I do well, but yeah, I'm working with inmates, and being a big dude, sometimes I catch some of the inmates' eyes. Let's say that.
Well, we've talked about this before about because you're so large, you're usually the tallest guy. Pardon me. You're usually the biggest guy in the room. And what I know about tough guys is that they want to challenge the biggest guy in the room, no matter how nice you are, whether you're starting shit or not. If a guy wants to start a fight, it's very likely it's going to be with you, just because you're so big.
I'm definitely a target for two types of people. One, people that are probably my size and I'm slightly bigger than them, which is normally the case. It's a rarity for me to run into somebody. It does happen, but it's a rarity to run into somebody bigger than me. Like Danny, Baby Huey, he's bigger than me. The last couple of years, he's dropped some weight, so I think I'm a little bit bigger than him. But
Are you calling you fat?
I'm calling myself fat.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But looking somebody like straight into the eyes without having to bend down or like, that's weird. That's a weird feeling to me. And Baby Hugh is definitely one of the men. So I'm like, can I just hold you? Because, but also I have problems with short guys, with Napoleon Dynamite syndrome.
Because they want to test themselves, right?
They want to take down the biggest guy. And the thing is I'm not an aggressive person by nature. Definitely put my family in danger or any type of harm. I will go mama bear mode on you. And
not Papa Bear, but
no,
Mama Bear.
I'll straight do anything and lift cars and eat your young.
Yeah.
But the thing is if you notice, a lot of my friends are shorter dudes, because when they come up and they try to test me out, they find out that, oh, Big Joe is just a big teddy bear and I'm no longer a threat or this guy's no longer a threat to me. And then we end up becoming good friends because that threat card is taken off the table.
That's so funny. So a lot of the short guys that you know probably originally wanted to fight you.
Yeah. They were threatened and they're like, fuck this dude. Like, one of my best friends, he's like a brother of mine. Like, we didn't like each other when we first met each other.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah.
You know, and we've gone years off and on, you know, but a really good friend of mine. And I love him like a brother. I'll buy him something for Christmas and forget to give it to him and then end up using it and giving it to him next year.
Well, that's good.
I love him that much.
That seems to happen a lot, actually. People that I have a great friend. I've only been to 2 weddings in my whole life, and one of the weddings I've been to was my friend Mike, and we hated each other when we first met. Like in high school, I remember we would talk shit to each other. We'd look at each other's stuff, be like, "What band is that? Oh, fucking lame," you know, talking shit to each other. And then we realized we both had Jordan as a friend. Jordan was like a mutual friend. And I was like, "Oh, you're friends with Jordan?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm friends." He's like, "My best friend." Well, no, he's my best friend. But either way,
excuse me.
Yeah, no, like a month later we're hanging out, and then years later I'm at his wedding. So it's a nice little thing. It had nothing to do with my size, because you know I'm not a big guy like you. I'm not calling you fat. I know what you're thinking.
You beat me to it before I could even think about it. I need another cup of coffee before I'm on the fat jokes, like fully 100%.
Okay. Do you load up on coffee before the shows here on Fridays?
Fat. You know what? Normally I do. I normally eat a really big meal. I've had about a half a pot of coffee, and I have my whole routine, like as if I'm going to work, like I'm ready to go to war. Today was a little different. I struggled. Sometimes I have trouble sleeping. So I'm really trying to get ready for this new job, and I'm trying to go to bed early. And I was in bed by 11 something, and I woke up at like 2.
I like.
And my body's like, "Hey, let's rock and roll." And
3 hours of sleep, we're good.
So, and then the bad part is like it'll catch up to me, and then I'll knock out, and like my body will go like, "Hey, guess what? You got to," you know, that bad. And but the thing is I won't be awake for this. I will sleep through this, and I'll hit my REM sleep around 10 o'clock. So I can't take a nap if I wake up at 2 and I'm like, all right, we're doing this. I'll start digging through my records. I'll put on a record. Start playing Rocket League, getting pissed at people like, what a save, like, and then I commit. And then at around 7 o'clock, I make a big breakfast, coffee. I do my exercises, and then I commit to staying up. And yeah, I'm pretty pumped, but today I'm a little off. My schedule's a little different today.
I'm proud of you though, because you have committed. You have shown up every Friday at 10. You have shown up because I know you have a sleep schedule that's as you just explained. It's a little different.
Fucky.
It's a little fucky. It's a little different than the rest of ours. For those who don't know, there's an app called Marco Polo. It's sort of how Joe and I communicate with each other when we're not on the show. It's just a video message app. I record a video, I send it to him, he watches it whenever he wants, and then he sends one back. Well, a few months ago, you sent me one, and you were falling asleep during the Marco Polo. So you were awake enough to hit record, and then you started talking. I don't even know if you actually began speaking, but I remember you were just... You just gently nodded off like that, and it scared me. Like I thought you were in trouble. Like I was like, I was scared. I was like legitimately scared. I think I called you, or I don't know what I did, or maybe I just forgot about it. Maybe I wasn't as scared as I thought. but
You're
but I
like,
remember
oh shit, what's going on? Hey, what's that? Is that a squirrel? Squirrel!
I get
Oh, shit,
distracted
Joe.
easily. But I was scared, man, because you just nodded off right in front of my eyes. I was like, whoa, like because like the sun's out. It's not like it was like 3 a.m. Like it's the middle of the day.
I had to
But
be careful and make sure I get some good sleep. Yeah, just because it's so off to where I could be getting REM sleep during the afternoon, just because I can't sleep through the night, especially if I'm in pain. There's just times to where like I just learned that you got to do it, just because you'll sit there and stress when it becomes like 2, 3, 4. Like I've stayed up till 4 before, but what the fuck? And like 5, like dude, that's morning time. I should be asleep.
Yeah.
And then by that time, I'm like, dude, just calm down. Like, just go for the ride. And then, around like noon or 11, you hit that deep sleep. And I just have such an active mind sometimes, too, to where, I'll wake up and I'll start doing things and my mind's going. And I had this problem today because I could tell everything that was near me was on the floor. I kick and get up and move and change and all those different things. And
you kick.
I'll try to get up out of bed, and then like I'll sit up straight and then fall asleep, and I'll lay down and I'll get up, and the next thing you know, my phone's on the floor.
That's
whatever
scary.
else was on my bed. Or dude, I'm very active.
It's like you have no control whatsoever.
Well, what it is, I think my mind is so active, and it's going like, hey, it's time to get up and do something. Like I have a number one rule. I have 2 rules that I try to get myself to commit to when I'm sleeping, which is very hard to do. Do not get up and get a cup of coffee, because I will sit down going like, I'm up, let's drink coffee, and hey, everything.
To me, that's a no-brainer.
And then, dude, my brain is not braining the right way. And then I can't look at I'll wake up and want to check my phone. And like I'm like sleepwalking almost. And then I drop my phone on the floor because I'll just go down, or my tablet. And I dropped my tablet probably like 4 or 5 times today.
Yeah.
Just because I needed to know what was going on in Taylor Swift's world. And at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'm checking her Twitter and her website and just seeing like, what's up, girl? What you got for Big Jody?
You got to turn on. You got to turn on T Swift notifications, dog. That way your phone goes.
See, and then I'll hear it and I'll go, "Oh shit, what's going on with that?" I've had this weird thing recently to where I'll wake up in the morning or the middle of the night and have the biggest urge to buy something, and I'll convince myself that I need to have it, and I'll buy it and go back to bed. And I'm like,
dude, you're the guy who those infomercials are made for.
Exactly.
You know, those late night. Like those people like you who wake up and you haven't got all your your bearings together yet, and you're like, oh, that looks cool, I need that.
Yeah,
give me the
I've
phone.
done that. I've bought the bullet blender before.
Oh, the bullet. We had the magic bullet.
Yeah, when that first came out, I got it off the infomercial.
Yeah, they talk about how many different kinds of salsa you can make.
Right. Actually, the funny thing is one time me and Matt Hurley were hanging out years ago, and then we were like blending things in the bullet, and we were just trying to find random things to put in there, just like the most random shit, and digging out the pantry cupboard and the things that are in the back, and just mixing all these things. We were trying to make really fucked up smoothies.
And did you succeed?
I don't think we really did, because I mean, even though if it was old, it was still something that I liked, and I don't like. There's not a lot of weird things that I like, so it's all pretty straightforward.
No, nothing weird that you like?
I mean, no, I don't think so. My family thinks it's weird that I like sushi. Like they're not sushi eaters up here, and that's weird.
Okay.
I eat a lot of kale.
Yeah.
I like to cook kale to where it tastes like spinach, and I'll put it like 2 handfuls in my soup or my eggs or anything that needs to be heated up. 2 handfuls of kale.
Ugh, weird, dude. Weird.
It's just like adding spinach, and it's something that I started doing. It's not that bad, but it's something I started doing to sneak vitamins into my kids' meals.
Bro, I'm kidding. Kale rules. I fucking love kale.
I always think of the ZH Fatality tour, and then you were talking about them buying Kale, and I always think about that when I'm loading up on Kale. That story that you told.
You know, this was credit to Dan Souza. He was on the Kale train before everybody else was, and I think we were at the some grocery store trying to figure out what to buy with our money. 10 dudes, 2 bands in a van on tour trying to figure out what to spend their food money on. And Dan had loaded up on Kale or something like that, and Nick Mamir had like a bottle of Tapatio, like, should we get this Tapatio? And like, and everyone's debating whether or not it's in the budget. Meanwhile, Dan has like a basket of Kale. And Nick was like, why is Dan allowed to have a big basket of fucking Kale, and I'm just asking for $1.75 Tapatio bottle? But yeah, you know, Dan was way on the Kale train before all of us, because if it was me now, I'd be like, yeah, get that Kale, get more of it.
Yeah. You can mix it in with your rice or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, buy a bunch of rice and Kale, maybe some tuna, mix all that shit together. It's too real. Straight up. It's too real. Oh, wait, I've got a little advice for you, Joe. This is from Shazbot. Hello, Shazbot. If you didn't sign an NDA, you can talk about it, Joe. You fuck. You fuck. Yeah, I don't know what I signed. I just signed everything and said, boom.
They're like, just sign here and you're good. And you're like, got it.
Yep. Like the devil sitting there going, all you got to do is pay their, oh, yeah, cool, whatever. Just give me the fucking, and take it out of his hand. Fucking idiot. Here.
The devil went down to Georgia.
The devil went down on me.
Ooh.
I added that to the contract.
Boy. We got Bob in the house. Hi.
Yo, Bob.
Hi, buddy. How you doing? Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Going back to what we were talking about, Napoleon complex. We've got with folklore here, Coach Lore. Hello, Coach Lore. Little guys like me. Coach Lore's like 4'10", 4'11". She's very short. Little guys like me always want to prove ourselves. That's why we're so loud. Yeah, that's the thing. And then when you see a big guy like Joe, you're like, this is the perfect guy to test my metal.
And see, like me, I'm like, dude, calm down. You're moving too fast and you're being too loud. You're hurting my ears. Like,
it's like a mouse around an elephant. You're like, whoa.
Yeah. I was like, can we just sit down and have a quiet, civilized conversation? Like, and you're like, no, why? Let me climb you and ride around on you. Like, what the fuck? Like,
alcohol too, you know. Alcohol helps a lot. These people get even more hyped up.
Normally, then I could kind of play along to anything, you know. Normally, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, yeah, you want to jump on my back and ride me? Then yeah, let's fucking do it. Now I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Good. That's why, Coach Lore. That's why I always call Joe fat. Just waiting for that day. Yeah. So there you go. She wants to fight, and she's been calling you fat for quite a long time.
You know what? I've learned that Lore doesn't like me as much as I thought she did. As I thought she did. Playing Mario Kart with her, man, she really tells me the good news when I win. Actually, I was thinking about it yesterday or the day before. I was like, you know what? I haven't gotten an invite to play Mario Kart with the guys in about a week.
So you think Coach Lore has been excluding you on purpose? Yeah,
I'm sure there's the Mario Kart chat that like, hey guys, let's all play. And we're like, cool, yeah, you know, everyone we're getting on and playing. And then there's the fuck Big Joe chat. And that's when you guys get together without me.
Okay, so I promise we haven't gotten together without you. But there's a Mario Kart chat without me in it. You guys are talking like she was on her phone last week and she was like, oh, the guys want to play at 7:00. I'm like, how come I'm not getting these texts? And she said, you're not in the chat. I'm like, why?
Doesn't that hurt?
It does.
You know why you weren't in the chat?
I think it was because of my birthday.
It was, and then somebody must have kept it alive, and
but nobody added me back, Joe. It's been 2 weeks. Nobody's added me back.
Well, they're using the most recent thread, you know, instead of going back even further, you know, and
whatever way you slice it, I haven't been invited back into the chat. So
you just got to redo it. Have the secretary Margarita do it for you. She'll add you back in.
Her name's Dominique.
Okay. Dominique.
She's not in on the Mario Kart thing, but she should be. I don't know if she plays. Dominique,
She should be trained.
try to get me back on the group chat. Talk to Coach Lore. Yeah, I'd like to be involved if I can. Thank you.
there's no fuck Big Joe chat, but there's fuck JP chat.
There is. There literally is. Yeah.
Well, fuck. Sorry for the bad language, by the way. That's my French.
It's okay. I almost choked on my tea. That was funny. Yeah, I'm drinking a tea this morning. No coffee for JP. A mint tea, baby. Keeping it early.
I got a lot of tea, but I just got a coffee maker down here. I have a lot of my stuff that's outside. So it feels like a crisp morning. I have a little microwave out there, a water cooler, and a refrigerator, and my coffee machine. So you have to be ready to go stand outside for a little bit to set all this stuff up. And it's actually really nice. I feel like I'm camping constantly. But if it's too cold, you ain't going to do it. But the last week, like in the middle, we've been like in 60-degree weather. And it's like amazing. I don't know. And you guys
60's perfect.
60's perfect. You guys are like, what, up in the 80s down there?
No, it's been cold lately. It's been cold.
Has it?
Yeah, it's been
maybe
cold.
Maybe that's other parts down there, because I've heard on the good old news channel them saying there's record-breaking stuff. Maybe that's San Diego.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news. Did you get that from the fake news media?
You know, I think John Schaefer told me that. Is that what you said, John? No, I wouldn't be harboring John Schaefer. That's not funny.
Oh, he's hiding at your house.
I was gonna start saying but I was like, you know what? No, fuck that guy. Like, dude, that hurts when the people that you like and look up to and love their music, when they do something stupid, you're like,
when they commit treason.
Like, right? That's what it is. Like, and then you know what the penalty of treason is? It's fucking death.
Death
so
by
fucking
snoo.
Off with his fucking head. And
you heard it here, folks. Big Joe calls for the head of John Schaefer.
Yeah,
that's it. Well, that is newsworthy. And speaking of news, it's been a while since we played any. Is that really news? What do you say? We play a round of Is That Really News? Is that
Really?
news? That's right, folks. It's Is That Really News? It's the game where I present a news story and then we decide if it's news or not. Of course, all these stories are taken from blabbermouth.net, just the greatest news website in the world. I love it so much. I'm being sarcastic. Blabbermouth sucks. You've got a couple news stories in there, but sometimes it's questionable, and that's why we have the game. Is that really news? So let's play, Joe. What do you say?
Let's do it. I'm feeling lucky today.
You're feeling lucky. Okay.
I want to spin the wheel.
Let's see where we can start. Perfect. I got one here. All right. So, five-finger death punch bassist Chris Kale. Speaking of Kale, maybe he puts it in his eggs
or puts it in his beard.
Puts it in his beard. Five-finger death punch bassist Chris Kale is looking forward to getting back on the road. Apparently, he was on a video podcast, sort of like what we do. This is a video podcast. I like to call it a broadcast because it gives it a little more gravitas.
Because we're broads.
Yeah, you got it. And this is broad humor, suitable for all audiences. It's not necessarily a good thing, broad humor. I think it usually means it's sort of dumbed down. Anyway, so this guy was on a podcast, and basically all they were able to get out of him is that he's looking forward to getting back on the road. And so they wrote a whole article about it. I'm not going to read the whole thing. When someone says they're looking forward to getting back on the road, is that news, Joe? Now, you got to keep in mind we are in COVID times. It is a little newsworthy that we're all sitting here not touring. So, Joe, what you tell me? Is that really news?
Does he talk about supporting an album? Or just by the headline by itself? I mean, I don't know. Because you bring up a good point, because is it news because of us sitting here and doing COVID? Doing this podcast with you, or this broadcast, can be pretty entertained. And I feel like it's kind of the same thing. So maybe if he's kind of talking about that, I don't know. That's news.
Well, he does bring up that their last album was released in March. It's called
Good for them.
F8.
They already had everything done except for the solos, and then they were able to do it from the comfort of their home.
Yes, sounds like it, right?
You know.
So they had a tour planned for April, May. Just like everybody else, get in line, man. Everybody was going to go on tour in the summer. That's just how it happens with bands.
That's what summertime is for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he does talk about his album F8. It came out in March. Like I said, F8. Do you think it's their 8th album? Do you think it's like Fast 5 where they're like F5?
It's music written to and for Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
F8.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm feeling generous. I think it's newsworthy just for the fact that it's COVID times. And, all of us were all, I'm on the fence, man.
I'm gonna say no, just because it is COVID times. I would rather know what you're doing instead of wanting. You could fucking want in one hand and shit in the other.
Amen, Joe.
And it's only just because it's a worldwide pandemic. So he's not the only one. There's nothing special about that. Like, I don't know. Like, you and I are doing it. My goal this year is at least cut 4 albums. I want to be in the studio 4 different times with 4 different projects, because this past year I've sat and worked on 4 different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're like,
that's what can I do? He's like, what can't I do?
What should you have been working on instead of sitting around playing Mario Kart the whole time?
Oh, it's too real. it's too real. Okay. So, with the information I just acquired from you, Joe, I'm going to have to go ahead and agree with you and say, not news. With Folklore agrees. No, not news. So that's it. Not news. If you're watching, feel free to give us your opinion on this. Let's move on to the next story. What do you say, Joe?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's see here. Well, we got some good ones here. Here we go. This one, we got Scott Rockenfield. That's quite a name for a musician. Scott Rockenfield. Wow. Anyway, Scott Rockenfield says, I most definitely did not and have not quit, walked away, retired, or abandoned Queensryche. Okay. Now, that was a mouthful. But the gist of this is he basically did nothing. Is what I get from this headline, is that I did nothing.
Well, was he being accused? Is he the mastermind?
I think that is a point of dispute, because I think there's 2 Queensryches that tour. I think there's Jeff Tate's Queensryche. I think
that guy sounds familiar.
I think it legally is called Jeff Tate's Queensryche, and then there's Queensryche. So there is a point of dispute on whoever is the main Queensryche mastermind, but I'm pretty sure it's not this guy. He's the drummer. It's very rare when the drummer is the mastermind of a group. I can only name a few in my head, really. But this guy hasn't even performed with Queensryche in 4 years. He said on his Facebook, want to hear a fun story? Contrary to any statements or interviews coming from other parties, I most definitely did not, have not, blah, 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 all that stuff, left Queensryche. Unfortunately, he goes on to say, you have not been given the facts by any means. Wow. So he's like mysterious about the whole thing.
It sounds like he got kicked out.
Yeah, and then he says, a total cliffhanger, right? ... More soon. What are you fucking with us for, man? Tell us the fucking story or don't.
Yeah, it sounds like he got the rights to his Queensryche band name, and he was like, I didn't get kicked out. I own that name. I'm going to sit there. Like, that's almost like as if when Black Sabbath had to start going by Heaven and Hell when they got back with Dio over that lawsuit. And then Ozzy got back together with his own Black Sabbath, kind of like what he did with his 90s albums.
Can you clear that up a little bit, actually? Because I saw that Heaven and Hell tour. It was badass, by the way, with Dio. But did they have to call themselves Heaven and Hell? Was that a legal thing? Right? I thought they did that just on purpose, just to differentiate and make sure that people didn't think they were going to go see an Ozzy show.
No, Ozzy. From what I believe and what I heard was Ozzy and Sharon sued him and said that Ozzy is the reason why they sound like Black Sabbath is because of his trademark voice, and they can't use that name without him.
Yeah. Okay. Listen to Dio era Black Sabbath, and listen
Which
to
is
my
favorite.
What's your favorite? Interesting.
Mob Rules in Heaven and Hell.
My point is that it doesn't sound anything like the Ozzy Black Sabbath. Even the music, it's very, very different sounding. So I don't know. I think it was probably good that they went. I think it's good that they went by Heaven and Hell personally, because it differentiated it.
It did, but it was lawsuit driven.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame.
So, but I mean, it was. But I mean, I don't know. Just the same of like when you lose a band member, or I mean, people lose singers all the time, and then I bet you after that, like Heaven and Hell wasn't able to perform any Ozzy era stuff. And that would kind of take away of when you went and saw them come around Black Sabbath with their new singer, and yeah, he's still singing Iron Man.
I like how we just started talking about a way more interesting band. Originally we were supposed to be talking about Queensryche, and then we just ventured off into Black Sabbath, and I'm like, wait, I'm having a great time talking about Black Sabbath.
Well, I keep looking at this guy, and he reminds me of JK from Jamiroquai. Virtual Insanity.
Yeah.
He always changes up the hat. Oh, dude, I love that music
You're a big Jamiroquai fan. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that on another day or today.
It's probably like one of my favorite bands.
I think people would be surprised to hear that, because I think only people know that one song, "Virtual Insanity." But hold on, before we go off on Jamiroquai, because I do want to talk about Jamiroquai. We need to get a verdict here.
On
Scott
Black Sabbath?
Rockenfield.
Oh, okay.
Again, okay. First of all, you think Dio is better era Black Sabbath than
no, I didn't say better. I just said I prefer.
You're okay, more enjoyable to you. Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough. I disagree. But that's not to say I don't like the Heaven and Hell era. I love it. Anyway, Scott Rockenfield, great name for a rocker. I most definitely did not and have not quit, walked away, retired, or abandoned Queensryche. Is that really news, Joe?
Scott Rockenfield?
That's him.
No, that's not news.
No, that's not news. He didn't do anything. All he's doing is saying that he didn't do anything. Look at this long. How did they get so many words out of this?
They probably get paid by the word in the editor.
Oh, absolutely.
They stopped caring.
No, like, absolutely. No. This is the format. We've talked about this before. They get they'll take an interview that someone did with a rock star. They'll grab one line from it and then write an entire article about that. Fast forward 5 minutes, take another line, write a whole article about that, and it just goes and goes and goes until you have 10 articles with the exact same source, one interview. So, I don't know.
It's getting your money's worth. I mean, it's a good business model.
I suppose, but then your news website is flooded with nothing articles, nothing stories like this. This is not a story. He's saying, I didn't do anything. I didn't walk away. I didn't quit. And then he gave us that ... more soon. Total cliffhanger, right? More soon. I'm not going to tune in. I don't. This might be the last time I ever hear of Scott Rockenfield.
This is definitely the first time. Well, it looks like somebody in our chat knows who he is.
Rockenfield rocks. Oh, that's my Aunt Linda. What's up, Aunt Linda? Rockenfield rocks. You don't know him. You're playing. She's playing.
So it's not too real. It's just like...
It's not too real. She's a jokester, that Aunt Linda. That Aunt Linder. I got family all from the Massachusetts kind of area, the Northeast. My grandma in particular, but she can't say the name Linda. She goes Linder. It's so funny. You're like, call your Aunt Linder.
Sounds kind of Canadian.
Why would you?
What's that all about?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, shout out to Aunt Linder. We have some more stories. Are you ready for the next one, Joe?
Yeah, let's load that bad boy up.
Let's load that bad boy up. And it takes me a second. Dominic, can you hurry up, please? There it is. Okay, now this is a good one. California house, the California house Jimi Hendrix almost bought is back on the market for $3.8 million. And so I think you know already how I feel about this one, but let's move on. The California home, which was in escrow, for sale to influential guitarist Jimi Hendrix at the time of his death, is currently under contract after recently being listed for $3.8 million. So basically what they're going on here is that Jimi Hendrix was ready to buy this house. It was in escrow, and then he passed away. Okay, so the headline we're left with, California house Jimi Hendrix almost bought is back on market for $3.8 million.
Well, it's probably only 3.8 because they're bragging that Jimmy was going to buy it.
Right, you think it'd be a lot less, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, did it say where it's at?
Yes, it's built in 1968, the 4,600 square foot Spanish style home. Actually, I can't see where it is.
Sounds like a lot of...
Here we go. Distinctly private and surrounded by nature. It is tucked away into the post office tract in Topanga, with mature oak trees and sweeping 360-degree vistas of the ocean and Topanga State Park. Why are you including that in the article? I'm not buying the fucking house.
They're trying to sell it, baby.
It's like they're trying to sell it to me. I'm reading Blabbermouth. You can find more photos of the property at this location. Bet your ass I'm going to click that. Okay, so here we go. This is in California. Okay, Topanga is the name of the town, I guess, or the city. Wow, look at this fucking thing. You think it looked like that when Jimmy was about to buy it?
No.
Yeah, look, it's all like modern and stuff like that. Look at this thing. Is this a fireplace? What is that?
Can you cook food in there? But it looks like a little cove to take a nap.
That'd be amazing, though. Get a nice little fire, put a sleeping bag right in front of it.
Right?
You're chilling. You're chilling. So, okay. It's just a shot of the outside. Big.
That looks pretty.
Yeah, I mean, look where it's at. Would you want to pay that much to live so far away?
I mean, if I had the money,
yeah,
I'd probably buy the neighbor's house too.
Do you have any desire to sort of be around, like, I don't want to say like be in a city, but be close enough to a city or something, a grocery store? Would you feel comfortable being so far away?
You know, personally, I like to get out and go do things. So it is weird when you there's a couple places that I visit a couple times a year where it takes 20 plus minutes to get to town. So yeah, I like to get out and go sit outside of Starbucks and sit in the sun, and all that stuff. But where I'm at now, I mean, I'm surrounded by a lot of green, and I can see other people's property, but I mean, we're not in tiki-takis, where there's like just houses crammed next to each other, and it takes me about 5 minutes to get into town, and I enjoy it.
I'm sorry, tiki-takis?
Yeah.
What is that? What's tiki-takis?
Tiki-takis are like houses that they just put all together like suburbia,
like track homes.
Yeah, like where they just put them, and then for some reason they're called tiki-takis. That's an older term. I actually heard it from, I was watching that show Weeds on Netflix, and that's like in their theme song. Tiki-tak. I don't even remember how it goes now because I watched it. But by a friend of mine who knew what that was, like, oh yeah, tiki-takis. I'm like, okay, are those spicy chips that are kind of too hard?
That's what I was thinking. Either the TikTok app or the spicy chips.
There you go.
I love that the spicy chip Takis. It's just a tortilla chip rolled up.
It almost seems like it's like, I wonder if they just take all the chips, like for some reason they naturally roll up, or like a couple of them do because they get trapped in the machine, and they just put them to the side.
Yeah,
and they sell them. It's like, let's
like it was sort of it was like an accident how they were made. Almost.
Yeah, like even like jelly beans, like the Jelly Belly factory, they sell their imperfect jelly beans.
Bless
at a
them
discounted
for that, too.
price.
Fucking bless them for that, because they taste just as delicious as a regular Jelly Belly. They just look fucking weird.
Right? They just have the word belly on them, and I can relate.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that how Hot Cheetos were sort of made? It was like a dude that worked there just kind of like it was just fucking around and like made something and then brought it to like one of the higher ups, and now he's like a big famous, or not famous, but big rich guy because of his idea.
Yeah,
That's not exactly what you said.
You know what he did before that? You know what his position was in the job? He was the
Sweeping-
janitor.
I was just gonna say probably sweeping up Cheetos off the floor.
He was the I remember reading that a couple years ago. And yeah, the janitor was like, dude, you got to check this idea out. And yeah, he's probably sitting there in Jimi Hendrix's house.
Yeah, he might be rich enough to buy the California house Jimi Hendrix almost bought.
Almost bought.
Okay. Thank you for bringing us back to Jimi Hendrix's almost house. It's time for the verdict. California house Jimi Hendrix almost bought is back on market for $3.8 million. Big Joe, is that really news?
So are they thinking about putting it on the market, or it actually is going on the market?
So it is back on the market.
Okay.
It is back on the market. Jimi Hendrix almost bought it. Almost.
Was he there?
That is a good question. Like, did he actually set foot in the house? That is a good question. It doesn't actually say that. So I imagine he did, because it was in escrow. Like, he was about, like,
there's people for that. You know, he was like, "Hey, listen, baby,
it?
I'm in New York and I got this money, and you know, just
He
send
said,
the
listen,
papers
baby.
Yeah, you know, it's all good, baby. It's all groovy. I'll stop by there next time in California.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's not news. This is real estate information at best. It's not even news. It is.
It's a cheap way to sell a house, and they're like, "Hey, we could put this on Blabbermouth." Like, do it.
What do you think that house would go for if the Jimi Hendrix name wasn't there?
Well, it's
it's
that's a
nice,
pretty
right?
nice house and
Right.
secluded. I mean, that fireplace is too real.
Yeah,
You
one
could
more
hide
look at
kids
the
in there.
fireplace. Oh, well, it's pretty open. Maybe if you stuffed him up the chimney.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you'd
can
have
see the
to-
kids just like running around, and it's so big they like trip and like fall into it.
Yeah, you'd need like a fence.
Baby
An-
gates.
Yeah, baby gates for your fireplace. Oh Lord. Well, in my humble opinion, it's not news, and no, I don't think it would be worth $3.8 million had Jimi Hendrix.
Take
not-
$1 million off of it, and I'll buy it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. How dare you? How dare you use the deceased Jimi Hendrix name to up the value of this house? How dare you?
I bet you I bet you his manager presented him with this great opportunity. The manager probably got a cut from it, and Jimmy was never even there, like ever.
So you're doubtful he even stepped foot in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't sitting there with his old lady, you know, going like, "This is going to be a great retirement home." He's like, "No, fuck it. I have the money. I have so much money I don't know what to do with." And I bet you it was like half that price, not even half, like a quarter of that price.
Mhm.
Back when did Jimmy die? In the 70s? What year was that?
1970.
Dude, I bet you that house cost like $3.
Yeah, with inflation. $3.
Exactly.
Isn't it crazy? Back in the day, you could buy a house for $3, man.
And still take the change to go to the store and buy a candy bar, you know, some flip-flops and groceries for your mom, and still have change.
And we walked to school 4 miles in the snow. Uphill.
Both ways. I've heard
All
it.
right. What do you say? One more. What you think we have time for one more? What do you say?
We have one more time.
We have time for one more article. Once again, for those who are just tuning in, we're playing a game of Is That Really News? Where we look at blabbermouth.com articles, .net rather, blabbermouth.net articles. We determine if they're really news, because 9 out of 10 times they're not. So here we go. Sebastian Bach once again accuses Chris Jericho of miming to a tape. Says professional wrestling sucks. Okay. Now, for the uninitiated, Sebastian Bach and Chris Jericho have been fighting. I think it's bullshit. I think they're just trying to get more attention to themselves. I don't think they're really fighting. But basically, Sebastian Bach says Chris Jericho can't sing. He's right about that. And Chris Jericho is just ragging on Sebastian Bach for God knows what. But here he goes. Sebastian Bach once again accuses Chris Jericho of miming to a tape. Says professional wrestling sucks. Now, this is just something that, to me, would live on Twitter and normally just stay on Twitter if it wasn't for blabbermouth.net turning it into an article. What do you think about this, Joe? Have you first of all, are you familiar with the beef?
I am somewhat. I have researched, because every once in a while this will pop up, and I'm like, all right, what's going on? And Chris Jericho is kind of cool, but I never really dug his band. I thought it was a stupid name. And I don't know,
he's had that band since like the 90s, dude.
Yeah,
or like the late 90s. I remember being a little kid on like on their official like GeoCities website, dude. I swear to God, I was a fan of him as a wrestler back in the day when he was in WCW and then went to WWF. And I remember hearing that he was in a band, and I remember looking at their shitty fucking website, and like I said, it was like a GeoCities website. They've been a band for a long time, and they've been called Fozzy the whole time, which is very surprising.
I don't know. I don't see that. It's not real to me. I think the band, it's just another way for him to live out his wrestling persona, like it's not a real rock band. But
I kind of feel like it's the opposite now. I feel like he's a wrestler, but he wants to live out his rock and roll fantasies or whatever. Can we zoom in on this? Now this is the greatest. I love this kind of shit right here. When you've got every recognizable symbol in heavy metal in one logo.
Good old cliches.
Look at this. You've got a skull, you've got bones, you've got wings, you've got pointy letters, you've got, I think that's a buzzsaw, you've got bullets, dog tags, the word sin, a star. It's not very metal, but can you fit any more metal shit into one logo?
You're just missing a beer.
A beer. And a pizza.
Well, they're not a pizza thrash band.
No, they're not.
I don't know. I don't think it would be hard for wrestlers to go up and be frontmen because it's already kind of the same. Like, they could go up there and you're just being the same character. You're not saying that everybody is a character, but when you're in the entertainment business, depends. Some bands are there out there to entertain. Not everyone starts off in the garage band. Mm-hmm. Just like that other guy we were talking about from that other band, Queensryche.
Which? Oh, Queensryche.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's just it's silly, but I could see them doing this on purpose. I don't like Sebastian Bach either.
Right. Skid Row, I was never a big fan of Skid Row.
But I will say, being a fan of Bay Area musicians and being a fan of Steve DiGiorgio, there is an album where Steve DiGiorgio was on Sebastian Bach's album, and it's actually really good.
Well, I imagine that he could bring a level of legitimacy as far as musicianship goes to a Sebastian Bach record. And Steve DiGiorgio is he's not known for being in one band. He is a session kind of guy. You know? So it makes total sense that he would appear on a Sebastian Bach record. Get that paycheck, Steve DiGiorgio.
Right? I wish just Steve DiGiorgio would just answer my letters and just fucking come to my birthday party already.
Have you been writing him?
Yeah, every year I invite him to my birthday party. Him and Garth Brooks.
Snail mail?
Yeah, a card.
These days, well, no. Now, Garth, I don't know. And Garth is hard to get to because he doesn't He doesn't play by traditional social media rules, okay? If you want to talk to Garth, you got to sign up for the Garth fan club. You got to go on the Garth website. You got to download GP3s if you want to listen to his music. He's smart. He's smart. When it comes to making money and keeping control of his brand, Garth Brooks is one smart motherfucker. Because he knows exactly how much he's worth. He knows exactly how much his fans like him, and he knows how to maximize his earning potential. Because he was doing he was doing GP3s a long time ago, like his own MP3s, kind of stuff like that. Anyway, I could go on about the marketing or about the money making genius of Garth Brooks, but these days it's a lot easier to just get in touch with somebody that is famous. Like if you want to talk to Steve DiGiorgio, he'll probably answer back if you DM him.
Yeah, probably would. I'm gonna try right now.
That'd be amazing on the show.
I've already invited him to my birthday party this year. I'm waiting for him to reply.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Okay.
Check yes or no. Please return.
Oh, you gave him one of those. It was like a poll. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Will you give me bass lessons?
Will you come to my bass day party?
Ooh, that's good. A bass day party. He might be like, oh, that's too cute to say no to.
We're going to have a jumpy house that is Lemmy's head, and you have to go in past the warts and the fucked up teeth to jump inside.
Steve DiGiorgio jumping in a bouncy house with Chris Reifert. I imagine Chris Reifert's there with him. Because yeah.
He come to my birthday party.
Yeah, you're good friends with Chris Reifert. Chris Reifert has been to your birthday party before.
Chris is really good about showing up to everybody's birthday party.
He absolutely is. I don't know him as well as you do, but you had a party back when I first met you at your place, and fucking Chris Reifert was there, and I was like, wow.
He's shown up to more of my kids' birthday parties than my own birthday parties. Like
what a guy.
I don't know if it's for the bouncy house, but and I mean we were drinking a lot of beer and still playing Mario Kart. Nothing's really changed. Now just the kids got a little bit older and now they actually get to pick what they want to do and invite, because normally for my birthday parties, I'd invite all my friends, which are all musicians. So that means Zombie Holocaust, Fog of War, and Violation Wound. And then my kids, they're still pooping themselves, So I would invite the same people: Zombie Holocaust, Fog of War, and Violation Wound. Now they get to pick their own lame friends, and like, dude, why wouldn't you want those guys at your birthday party?
Your parties used to be so much cooler. You had Fog of War, Violation Wound, members of Autopsy, Zombie Holocaust was there. Why do you want these fucking lame kids at your party? Right? I don't understand, son.
It's not real enough for him.
Nah. But it must be so funny looking through the eyes of like one of your sons who just sort of grew up around this kind of thing. Like, because I remember when your son Chance was a little guy, you bringing him on stage, you know what I mean? He was so fucking little, and you brought him on stage at the Gilman, and he was like damn near a baby still. Can you imagine having that memory, like as a child? Like, oh man, I remember being like a baby and my dad brought me up on stage at the fucking Gilman in front of like a packed house.
That was a packed house.
And Chris Reifert was at my birthday party. Can you imagine that point of view? I can't.
They don't care. They're like, whatever. Like Jaden.
That's the result. That always seems to be the result. It's nothing, right?
Like all their friends are interested in everything I do. Like, oh, what's that? Like, what's this death metal? We listen to reggae. Like, what is this? I'm like, here, check this out. And check this. Jaden's actual picture is in this album. Like, check this vinyl out. There's Jaden right there. And Jaden's like, Dad, stop. But Jaden, when he first started air guitaring, he didn't start air guitaring. He started air slap bassing. Just the things that he's gotten to see and do.
That's got to warm your heart a little bit.
Dude, I was like, oh. I remember the moment exactly. He's sitting there playing the air guitar, and he stops, looks down at his thumb. Right there. Or even like the coolest thing was we in the beginning of the summertime we did that Zombie Holocaust music video with everyone did their own little thing in their camera boxes, like the Zoom boxes.
Oh, this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, this past summer.
I forget it's not 2020 anymore.
Yeah, I know. I had Jaden record a part in there, so he's actually sitting there playing the bass breakdown, the dum 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 dum, and I have him playing my Rickenbacker, and he's like sitting there doing the thumb thing, and actually like because we're miming to it, and his rhythm is on. He's going pop 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 pop. Now, of course, he doesn't know how to do the fretting hand, but I don't know, just years of being around certain things, and he's asking me questions about the thumb. And like, how'd you do that? I'm like, oh, you're making me so proud. It's like,
wow. Has he shown any interest in playing bass or any kind of music?
He's shown
or Chance?
Chance, not so much, but Chance is still in his own little world of fantasy and sci-fi, and he's making movies and videos and stuff like that. And Jaden is starting off the way I did. He just wants to kick it and listen to music laying on his bed. But he's getting into like old 90s stuff, which is not that old. And we were listening to that song Loser by Beck. And in the beginning, it starts off with the it like has a slide in
it.
And Jaden was smart enough to go like, hey, Dad, like, and this brought a tear to my eye. He goes, how is he making that noise? Because that's not normal. Like, how is he making that? And I'm like, whoa.
He's got the ear, man.
So they put it, and I explained the slide to him. He goes, and he didn't care once I started talking to him, but he's like, all right, shut the fuck up. You're already talking too much.
That seems to be his gimmick, is that he doesn't seem to be impressed by anything, even though deep down he might be, but he's not going to let you know. That's what I get from your son.
That's pretty accurate. He'll sit there and go, wow.
Yeah.
Can I go back?
He might actually be impressed, but I don't think he's going to let on that he is.
No, he isn't. I like fucking with him and breaking him out of his cool guy thing. Now, his biggest thing he's been into is telling people off on the internet when he's playing online gaming.
Is he a potty mouth?
He's pretty aggressive with the potty mouth.
So what game exactly is he yelling at people?
It's one of the Call of Duties when they're fighting zombies for like hours.
That's the one, right?
Yeah.
That seems
to
be
what
the
the
most...
fuck are you doing? Damn it. Like, why are you following me? Oh, you didn't set that. Dude, I'm like, shut the fuck up. He's like, all right. I'm like, and then I wonder where he gets it from. He must get it from his mom. He doesn't fucking get it from me. But I've had to have to talk to him about the powerful, how curse words should be. If you're using them all the time, if you're always yelling, people are going to know you for that. And they're sitting there going, and I go, but if you fucking use it very lightly and listen, and they go, what? I'm like, see, you don't, because I don't curse all the time. Yeah. But if I raise my voice and I'm starting to curse, my kids fucking listen to me. Their hands behind their back, and they're like, yes, sir, I understand, sir. Okay. And
those words are much more heavy if you don't use them all the time.
Exactly. And that's my approach, and he just is sometimes I'm cracking up and I don't want to let him know that it's pretty fucking funny.
You know how Bob Saget is like a dirty comic? Like when he goes and does stand-up comedy. I mean, we all know him as Danny Tanner, but he's in reality just a regular stand-up comic, and he says the F word just like everybody else. But people didn't know that about him for like the longest time. And then he, after Full House, you start to see some things. He has little stand-up spots here and there. But then he sort of developed a reputation because people started telling each other, do you know that he says fuck and shit a lot, during his like he's a dirty comic. So I think at some point someone told him that he was a dirty comic, and then he felt like he had to say the cuss words like a lot. Oh. So I was, and then when you watch a Bob Saget stand, and I don't recommend it because they're not too funny, but if you do watch a Bob Saget like stand-up special, I remember turning it on and being like, you're like, I cuss, but you're cussing too much. Who does this? Like I've never felt that way before. Like, stop swearing. Like, I've never had to like say that before, but it's like, he's not even saying it. He's cussing for the sake of it. And it's not even funny because he thinks that's funny. He thinks he has something here as a dirty comic. And that if you say fuck and get a laugh out of it, you can say fuck a billion times and get a billion laughs out of it.
If that's going to make him the money, I don't know. It's, I was actually talking about Bob Saget last night in Half Baked, and that was my first introduction to Bob Saget and his filthy mouth.
After Full House. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I grew up watching, TGIF, Full House, all those shows, being a little kid, and you see that like, oh, there's the dad. That's the news anchor. He's a single dad, and he's like, "You ever suck dick for some marijuana?" You're like, "What?"
I used to suck dick for coke. He says, "Oh,
you ever suck dick for some weed?"
He's got a great point too,
dude. It's like I seen him.
I like how he gets booed.
Dude, but I was just blown away. Like, what?
Yeah.
How much money did he make to say that? Like, dude,
Well,
like he just ruined his career.
He took it too far. In my opinion. I guess we should wrap up. We never did.
I never did.
We never wrapped up. I'm going to go ahead and say that Sebastian Bach and Chris Jericho's. You never. We know you never wrapped it up. That's why we're sitting here talking about your two children.
Oh boy. Yeah, my snows.
Let's wrap it up. I'm going to go ahead and say no. This is not news. This is Twitter beef. Twitter beef is not news. Joe?
I would say no. This is more than Twitter beef. This is WWE beef.
There you go. And,
they like doing stuff with celebrities. You remember when Josh Reddick was on the A's, and he was getting some action in with WWE because he liked going to them.
Really?
Yeah. Like they either brought him. Like I don't know if it was really lightly, but they would talk about him on Twitter. I don't think he had any spots like any of the other celebrities would, but Josh Reddick definitely would get mentioned by wrestlers.
Oh, see, all you got to do is put it out there in the universe.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, there you go, folks. That was Is That Really News?
Is that really
news? Yes. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Is That Really News? Folks, if you have any stories that you'd like to submit for Is That Really News, please send us an email at morningaftertv@gmail.com. We like to poke through the emails, see what people send us. Oftentimes there's some gold in there. Shazbot sent us some pictures last week. Unfortunately, they have blurry syndrome. A lot of them.
Well, that was the quality of cameras back then.
Exactly. That was just how it worked. But a couple of them are kind of fun. We got an old picture of you, Big Joe. Look at this young man. Who's that guy?
Oh gosh, you got to zoom in on that.
I'm trying.
That's no beard and no hair.
Hold on.
No beer belly, dude. That's not real. That's not too real at all.
Yeah. What I'm most confused about is the facial hair. It's just like there's just so little of it. Hold on. Let me. Dominique, can you pull that picture that we just had up again?
Dominique's good at pulling things.
Like today, can you do it today? Today, Dominique. There it is. Look at you. Look at this guy.
Yeah, I had the chin strap.
That doesn't look like you at all.
That doesn't.
That's not even like that doesn't even look like my friend Joe.
I was eating lunch, man. Leave me alone.
Are you calling you fat?
I don't look too fat in that one. That one looks good.
No, you actually look lean and mean here, I will say. You're eating pizza at Pizza Pirate. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. I love a throwback pick, man. You got to have more of these. I know you do.
I have some sprinkled in there. One, I think my friend Courtney Cronin sent me a really good one.
Really?
I had long hair and all this fun stuff, and I was flipping off the camera.
Our viewers love those. So anytime you want to share some old pictures, please do. Shazbot, shout out to you, my man. Thanks for sending those. Also sent a video. Again, it's very dark and blurry. I don't think I'll share it, but it was a video of someone from Pizza Pirate delivering a pizza dressed as a pirate?
Oh yeah, that was Shazbot. That was his last day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why? What? Oh, Shazbot, why did you save that till your last day? Anyway, but he shared it from his YouTube channel. I was like, oh, let's have a look at Shazbot's YouTube channel because he's got a few things on there. One thing stuck out to me. I think I had seen this, but you guys filmed Fog of War. That is, you guys filmed a video for Six Pack and Heat like way before the album came out, right?
Yeah, we had a demo version of Six Pack and Heat, and we were still.
How have I not seen this? It's incredible. I feel like a poser because I have not seen it.
That was back when we had like black metal vocals.
Yes, it sounded so different. Josh was like, ah.
That was when we were trying to find. We spent a lot of time in that studio.
I can't share the audio because, well, let's not get into a long story, but I love these shots of you. You guys straight up, oh my God, the guitar dipping and look at you guys lightsaber fighting.
I have that guitar that Josh is playing.
So this was back in 2006, it said.
Yeah, I probably didn't have kids yet.
No. Oh my God, you guys look so young and just badass. Look how much fun you guys are having. Okay, next
Matt's
time
like
we'll
12 years old.
Yeah, I know, but he looks the same.
I know. Yeah, and then Shazbot said they stayed up all night editing this in Pizza Pirate. Like,
in Pizza
as far
Pirate.
as we didn't get, I didn't stay all night, but as far as I didn't get in trouble doing that because you're supposed to definitely leave.
Look at you guys. Yeah.
That was back when. That's what's crazy is I'm wearing a sweatshirt, and my vest is buttoned up.
Chilly night.
Well, the thing is I mean, this is the same vest, and it definitely don't do that no more.
Wait, that's the vest?
Yeah.
You're wearing the vest that's in this video?
Yes, I am.
You're shitting me.
No, the same one. Just different patch arrangements.
Right now, you're wearing the exact same vest featured in this music video from 2006.
Yep, looks like I got a grave patch on and at the gates and a testament patch right there.
I'm
and
so
no
glad
leopard
that
print yet.
I'm so glad that I brought this up.
Yeah,
what a great coincidence.
I still wear it.
Wow.
Just my belly don't fit in it the same way, you know.
You just can't close it anymore. Oh, that's great. Yeah, here's the Shazbot. Stayed up all night at Pizza Pirate editing that music video. That's awesome. Pat allowed me to stay at Pirate all night because I didn't drink. Oh, he trusted you.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and then Coach Lore, you had hair.
I did.
He still
Long
has
hair.
hair, but it's just in.
I used to have hair down to my mid back.
Yeah. Oh, like long hair.
Long hair.
And not just hair that grew down to your mid. Like you have a hairy back.
No, yeah, no. It was like Sonic the Hedgehog had waves of it just all the way down my back.
Okay. All right. When did it go away? She's asking.
Probably around that time. Probably around 2004. I cut my hair, and I donated it. I donated quite a bit, but I just didn't take care of it. You know, so it just it died.
Oh.
Still donated it though.
Oh.
And it just never grew back the same. I tried a couple times, and it just doesn't want to grow in right here anymore. So I'm like, fuck it, just shave it.
Yeah, you could have one of those cool old guy rocker looks, you know, with the big bald spot in the middle.
I tried it with the hella long Tevin Downson fucking hair.
No, I think you got it. I like what you got going on there. You know.
You know, the signature beard, I got to go get it trimmed up, though. It's starting to, I don't know, get too real.
Can you do that, though? Aren't places not servicing beards?
You know what? There's all sorts of different things going on. Actually, it's kind of funny because I thought our county was shut down, and it turns out every restaurant but the one I'm working at is allowing people to sit down and eat.
Yeah.
So
I'm seeing all sorts of stuff like that. I think
people are doing whatever they want to do.
Exactly. They're just saying fuck you. So
yeah.
Whatever. Okay. Well, had a great time on the show today, Joe. Is there anything that we didn't bring up that we were supposed to talk about?
Not that I know of.
We talked about John Schaefer. We did is that really news? Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
We have a guest next week.
Thank you. Oh man, I'm bad at being the host of a show because I forget about those important details. Folks, next week we're gonna have Jay Brining from the band Stray Rebel Bullet. Stoked about that. He's a good friend. I've known him for quite a long time now. It's been over maybe 12 or 13 years I've known Jay. He's got stories for days, quite a life he's lived. And just crazy after all these years we're in a band together. We weren't in a band back then, but now we're in a band together. So I can't wait to have him on the show. Everybody tune in next week. We're going to have Jay Brining from Stray Rebel Bullet. We've got February's all booked up with guests too, but we'll be reporting on that as time goes by. I want to thank everybody for joining us once again on a Friday morning. It's tough. It's morning. Some of yous are at work. Some of yous are in bed. But regardless, I really, really, really appreciate that you show up. And I know Joe does too.
I do.
Joe, he does. Joe, is there anything else you want to add?
What?
Yeah.
No, I think we're good. I think we covered it. I mean, I got my John Schaefer licks in there. I just say, we're all still locked inside. We're almost done. And if you're an artist, if you're an author or something, let's get that product out there. Let's get that art. Let's use your time. I'm not even practicing as much as I make it seem like. I sit in front of the TV and just doodle, and I really feel like it's my time to all right, my main theme of the year is, are you going to do it or are you going to not?
I see.
And let's see what we can come up with. You spent all year inside. I'm trying to light a fire under your guys' ass. Let's hear what you got.
You heard the man. Are you going to do it or are you going to not? Okay. Now go, just as Joe said, go create and then come. And then I will add, come on the morning after with JP and Big Joe and talk about it.
Let's do it.
Go create something. Come talk to us about it. We will ask you questions. Okay. Well, that's about it. Thanks, everybody, for joining in once again. Really appreciate it. So for Big Joe, I'm JP. We'll see you next week here. Twitch, YouTube, all those places. Make sure to like, subscribe, and all that shit. Really hate saying that. And I said it at the start of the broadcast.
Yeah, you said you weren't going to say that again.
I did say that. So I think next week I won't say it at all.
Yeah, you don't have to say it at all. I think you're good.
Perfect. Sounds good. Okay. Well, Joe, I had fun today. And everybody that joined us, thanks for popping into the chat. Really appreciate you guys. And we'll see you here next week. Sound good?
That sounds good to me.
Love it. We'll see you guys next week. Bye now.